I know. Welcome back to another great episode of Can You Still Pass High School? We have a great show for you guys tonight. Special guest today, President Bush, the younger, is here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And straight from the NFL draft, the analyst from ESPN, Mel Kiper Jr. is also joining us tonight to help break down this book, the classic written by William Faulkner, As I Lay Dying. Inspired by the movie starring James Franco, we have decided to dive into Mrs. Richmond's AP Literature class at Carmel High School to see if these two people can still pass high school. Today's driving question: how does Faulkner use the mental state of the characters to reveal the struggle to find one's identity after a life-changing event? President Bush, what say you?
Hi, Adam. I'm happy to be on your show tonight. Let's get down to it. I'll be doing Cash. I feel like he's been traumatized with his mother and now his broken leg. But before that, he was already insane because of his obsession with his tools. You look at he wrote a whole chapter about his tools, which he used to build a coffin from 82 to 83. It's all he talked about. And then he loses his tools, and this obsession. It follows what Vivian Gornick says when a huge amount of information in your unconsciousness is brought to life, relieves us of mental distress. He uses the tools to hide himself from his family life. Once he loses his tools, you can see him become more withdrawn with the lack of talking from him in the chapters, and he rationalizes if that's a word. Is it a word? I think it's a word. And then the other thing that I noticed is that his heroism of trying to avoid leg treatment is stupefied. He's stupeficated because he's trying to be a hero, and according to Gornick, idea of heroism is an attempt at self-cure, but in the end, he ends up with a stub, further affecting his identity because of his mental state.
Wow, President Bush. That's something. I would like to ask a few...
Adam!
What? What do you want, Mel? Hi, Adam. I just want to say that Darl is definitely better than Cash when it comes to insanity. Here's why. First of all, he's intuitive knowledge. Let's think about it. Dewey Dale on page 27 says that he knew that she was pregnant, and he knew that mom was gonna die without even ever being there. Why? Because he's been touched. That's how it works. So this is a little bit weird, considered queer by Cora on page 152, but Farrah Stockman shows that Moses communicated with a burning bush, and that John the Baptist lived in the wilderness and warned of the end of the world in the Bible, and they were not considered crazy. So that means that Darl isn't completely insane yet. What happens is, when you can take into account that Mark Jackson's two variables of insanity, hereditary and stress. Hereditary, he's a little bit crazy because Addie's a little bit crazy, and so is Aunt. And then you look at the fact that he's got the stress of holding up the family's consciousness throughout the whole novel. It takes its toll, especially on the end, when you see that he pushes Addie's coffin down the river on 151, he burns a barn on 218, and he's put in a mental asylum on 237, 238. As far as the change in mental state and his identity goes, he loses his identity completely after he falls apart. And that you'll be hard pressed to tell me otherwise.
Alright.
Thanks, Mel. I think you definitely deserve an A+. As for you, President Bush, I think you should stay in retirement. I think it's best for all of us, right? Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of our show, unfortunately. I know you're all sad, but we have an even better show next time. We go into Carmel High School's health and fitness program to find out if Lindsay Lohan can still pass a drug test. I know I can't. And to see if Jonah Hill and Melissa McCarthy can make the 2-mile run fitness test. That's next week's episode. Until then, have a good one. I know I will.